Hi, for this case study, I will discuss strategies for the three phases of motor learning related to improving posture in a patient with Parkinson's disease. And I will also explain how I would instruct the patient to exaggerate their movements. First, during the cognitive phase of motor learning, the patient is still learning the movement and needs a lot of instruction and feedback. In this stage, I would use simple one-step commands, visual demonstrations, mirrors, and frequent verbal cueing. For example, I might say, sit tall, look up, or bring your shoulders back. I would break movements down into smaller steps and allow extra time for the patient to process instructions because patients with Parkinson's often have difficulty initiating movement and planning movement patterns. The goal in this stage is to help the patient understand what proper posture feels like and looks like. The case study also mentions that the patient responds well to short verbal and visual cues. Secondly, during the associated phase, the patient begins practicing the movement more consistently and starts making fewer errors. At this stage, I would focus on repetition and functional activities. For example, I would have the patient practice standing tall during sit to stand transfers, walking, and reaching activities. I would gradually reduce the amount of verbal cueing so that the patient can begin correcting their posture more independently. I would also use feedback techniques such as mirrors or video recordings so that the patient can recognize when posture becomes stooped. Dual task activities could also be added slowly, since the patient has difficulty maintaining balance while walking and talking at the same time. Thirdly, during the autonomous phase, the patient is able to perform the movement more automatically with less cueing. In this phase, I would encourage the patient to maintain an upright posture during daily activities at home and in the community. Examples include walking through doorways, turning while walking, and standing during grooming activities. I would also focus on improving carryover of posture correction into real life situations. Since Parkinson's can cause hypokinesia and decrease movement amplitude, continuous practice is important to maintain gains and reduce fall risk. For the second question, I would instruct the patient with Parkinson's to exaggerate movements by using large amplitude movement training. Patients with Parkinson's often move too small without realizing it because of hypokinesia. I would encourage the patient to make big movements. For example, during walking, I would cue the patient to take bigger steps, swing the arms more, stand tall, and lift the feet higher. During exercises, I would ask the patient to reach farther, extend the trunk fully, and exaggerate posture correction. Verbal cues such as big steps, big reach, and stand tall are commonly used. I could also use visual targets on the floor or mirrors to improve movement awareness. Overall, treatment for this patient should focus on improving posture, increasing movement amplitude, improving balance, and promoting safer functional mobility. Thank you.